Hi, so the two questions that we had today for class were what does church mean to me, and what does ministry mean to me? And I think that those are just very broad questions, but they're they're very open-ended, and I think that's a good thing, and that's why we're talking about this. But I think like what church is to me is church is just a place that we just get to be with the Lord and just get to be with fellow people in a sort of like unification, to just come together and be like, this is what I believe in together, and let's worship him, and let's talk about him, and let's just read his word together, and just that unifying place. um, I will say that it took some time for me to understand that and what it means to me, because I think growing up I just thought like, okay, church is a place that I have to go to and I have to sit in for an hour a day and then I leave. Like, church really didn't mean anything to me in the very beginning, because like growing up I really did, like, I just hated going to church, you know what I mean? Like, I hated sitting in sermons and just listening to it, and I grew up Catholic, so it was kind of like just in the pews, and it was like 2 hours long and I didn't understand anything, but also I was a kid, so but but just like as growing into my faith and just reading this book as well, like even though we're in the first two chapters, it's really powerful, and I think it's gonna like really impact me a lot, and how I view things. But just now it's like he's totally right. Like, all of the denominations, like, I don't think like the Lord cares, to be honest. I think that at the end of the day, he just wants us to be unified as brothers and sisters in Christ, and church doesn't have to be a denomination. Church doesn't have to be so segregated and separate, like just like this book was talking about. Like, he was saying like they're really not all that different, and like and just him saying like a local church determines what the Christian life looks like for the people in that church, like really got to me and really made me realize that it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is the unification towards people that believe in the same thing you do, and even like just trying to cater to those people who aren't in that same realm as you, to just treat them the same way as your brothers and sisters in Christ who do believe that. So I think that's what church means to me, is just trying to be unified and just coming together and getting to worship the Lord and getting to know more about him, as brothers and sisters in Christ, no matter what denomination we are, or no matter where we are in life. And I think like what ministry means to me is just like serving that and acting upon it. I mean, like, of course, like when I think of ministry, I think of serving. I think of like worship, and I think of volunteers, and just like doing things for the church and doing things for our community to serve the Lord. And that just like goes back to the church. It's like, what is church to you? And if a church is a certain way, then ministry is a certain way. So I think that you can do ministry anywhere, just like we talked about in our Wednesday class, that I do think you can do ministry anywhere, and it means to me in a sense of I can serve the Lord anywhere I'm at. It doesn't necessarily have to be in church. It can be at a park bench. It can be at a skate park. It can be at the grocery store. Ministry doesn't have to be in one place, because as long as you're honoring the Lord and serving him in all you do, then I really think that the Lord's just happy with that. And like, as long as you're serving, I think that's the most important thing. So I think that's what the church and what the ministry like looks like and what it means to me. So thank you.